The NFL is once again rocked by a major drama. The Cincinnati Bengals have placed the non-exclusive franchise tag on Tee Higgins for the second straight year, and this could be a dangerous game that threatens his future. Higgins is one of the most talented wide receivers in the league, and if he were to hit free agency, teams would be lining up with massive offers to secure his services. But the Bengals aren't letting that happen. Instead, they're keeping him locked in with a one-year $26.18 million deal, using the franchise tag as a power move. So what's really happening here? Is this a smart business decision, or is Cincinnati playing a dangerous game that could backfire? And most importantly, what does this mean for Tee Higgins' future? Let's break it all down in this video. The Bengals are playing Higgins like a puppet. For the second consecutive season, the Bengals have slapped the non-exclusive franchise tag on Tee Higgins. Last year, they did the same thing, and it led to zero meaningful discussions about a long-term deal. Now they're pulling the same move again. But this time, something feels different. Let's get one thing straight. If Higgins were to hit free agency, he'd be the hottest wide receiver on the market. No doubt about it. Teams would be throwing insane money at him, desperate to secure a game-changing weapon. But the Bengals aren't letting that happen. Instead, they're keeping him locked in with the franchise tag, forcing him to play on a one-year $26.18 million deal unless they agree to an extension. And here's the kicker. This isn't just a business decision. This is a power move by Cincinnati. They hold all the leverage. Higgins can't test free agency without a team being willing to cough up 2 first-round picks if the Bengals don't match the offer. And let's be real, no team is giving up that much capital for a wide receiver in today's NFL. So what does this mean? Tee Higgins is trapped. The Bengals know exactly what they're doing. They're keeping Higgins on a leash, preventing him from leaving while also avoiding a long-term commitment. And that brings up the big question. Joe Burrow wants Higgins back, but at what cost? Joe Burrow has made it crystal clear he wants Higgins back. In December, Burrow said, T is a need, yes. Those discussions are ongoing, and I'm confident that I think we're going to be able to do what it takes to bring T back. That's a strong statement. Burrow isn't just saying Higgins is a great player. He's calling him a need. That's not something you hear every day from a quarterback, especially one who already has Jamar Chase as his primary target. But here's the big problem. The Bengals aren't exactly known for handing out huge contracts to wide receivers. They've already paid Burrow big money, and sooner or later they'll have to give Jamar Chase a monster deal too. So the question is, can they really afford to keep Higgins long term? Let's break it down. Burrow's contract, $275 million in 5 years. Chase's potential extension, $35 million per year. Higgins' potential extension, between $22 to $25 million per year. That's a lot of money to allocate to just 3 players. And historically, the Bengals haven't been known for spending big on multiple receivers. And let's not forget Higgins himself wants to stay in Cincinnati. He's not the guy forcing his way out. He's not holding out. He's not demanding a trade. He wants to run it back with Burrow and Chase. But will the Bengals actually commit to him, or are they just playing games? Is this a tactic to force a long-term deal? Here's where things get really interesting. Unlike last year, when the Bengals tagged Higgins without any real intention of negotiating, this time feels different. Why? Because Higgins recently switched agents. In December, Higgins moved on from David Mulugeta and signed with Rocky Arsenault and Caitlin Aoki of Alliance Sports. And let's be honest, players don't change agents for no reason. This is a calculated move, likely aimed at securing the best possible long-term deal. So is this just the Bengals playing hardball? Are they tagging Higgins not to keep him on a one-year deal, but to buy time to negotiate a multi-year extension? That could be the case. The Bengals know Higgins is valuable. They know Burrow wants him. They know letting him walk would be a massive mistake. The franchise tag gives them leverage, but it also keeps Higgins in limbo. So now we have to ask, what happens next? The 3 possible outcomes. So what's next for Tee Higgins and the Bengals? There are 3 possible outcomes. 1, they reach a long-term deal before the July deadline. This is the ideal scenario for both sides. The Bengals lock in Higgins for years to come. Higgins finally gets the contract he deserves. The offense stays loaded with weapons for Burrow. But will the Bengals pay up? 2, Higgins plays on the tag for $26.18 million. If no deal is reached, Higgins will be forced to play on a one-year contract, risk injury without long-term security. face uncertainty heading into 2026. Would Higgins be happy playing under the tag again? Or could we see tensions rise? 3. A team makes an insane offer and Bengals let him walk. This is highly unlikely, but if a team is desperate enough and is willing to give up 2 first-round picks, Higgins could be gone. The final verdict: is this a smart move or a disaster in the making? The Bengals have put themselves in a tricky situation. If they truly want Higgins long-term, they need to prove it. They can't just keep tagging him and expecting him to be happy. But at the same time, they know they can't afford to lose him for nothing.